Sheer tragedy. Once again, an innocent member of the public sold a phony phone card by the evil British Telecom. Who would believe that so much misery and pain could be caused by one simple piece of plastic? Tonight, Roger Cook investigates the great phone card scandal. Our investigation begins here at the top-secret spy training complex in Wood Norton, and indeed at the very shop where young, naive, innocent Colin bought his tragic piece of simple plastic. We've been waiting outside the shop here for literally minutes, with absolutely no success. Quite clearly, the staff do not want to talk to us, and we've been met with a wall of silence. We will have to look elsewhere. Preliminary inquiries led us to the sleepy little market town of Worcester, where we believed that more information could be found. There were even rumours of a secret BT complex in the area. We took our cameras and headed west down the B4148. So here we are in Worcester town centre. Let's go and find out what the people think. Have you had any trouble with a phone card at all?
Personally, I've only ever had one phone card. I didn't bother to buy any more, so I don't really use one.
But when you did use it, did it work okay?
The first couple of times it didn't work, but then suddenly started to work again.
That's very interesting.
Something with the machine or something, I thought at first.
So here we have the local area manager for British Telecom, Mr. Jack Spriggs. Excuse me, Mr. Spriggs. How much are you paid a year for being area manager?
Oh,
You are in fact area manager for British Telecom, are you not?
money?
British Telecom.
Where I go?
British Telecom. The phone people.
Ah, phone people.
Yes. Do you work for them? We're investigating a fraud in the area involving phone cards. Do any of you own or have you used phone cards? No. How have you found British Telecom's service in the past?
Okay.
It's been reasonable, has it? So you've no complaints? Thank you. And do you know where we might find their secret headquarters in Worcester? Film.
Don't be silly.
Oh, you look very young to be retired.
Eh?
You look very young to be retired.
Well, I'm 67, so I'm
Are you really?
sorry. All right, anyway.
All right. Do you like British Telecom?
Me, I like everything I do. Well, hey, look at that. Oh, no, do all the acting. That's romantic me life. I've been on the telly, you know.
Yeah? Have you?
Yeah.
What were you on?
I was singing underneath the arches at the time.
Oh, yes, he could do anything.
Oh, I'm joking.
Yes, that's right.
That's
no.
fabulous. Can you make a phone card work? Have you ever had any trouble with your phone cards?
We haven't got any.
Have you had any trouble with telephones at all?
No.
Yeah. Oh, you are?
Keeps ringing. It's a phone down when you answer it.
Could I ask you what you think? Well, total apathy there on the part of the youth of Worcester.
I was leaning on the lamppost on the corner of the street and a little fella come by.
I know that one.
Oh me, oh my, oh a little fella come by. Get it into my... Hey!
I don't know what he was on, but I want some. No major leads so far then, but perhaps this BT van could bring us closer to our prey. We secretly followed it to another part of town, and there resumed our inquiries. We've heard rumours of very shady characters at the top of British Telecom, of international slush funds, offshore banking, that kind of thing.
Oh, I've heard that as well.
Yes, you've heard that too?
Yeah.
So you think they could be a bit of a dodgy bunch?
I've heard of some things that go on, yes.
Really? Like what things?
Oh.
You can tell us, it's okay, this is only for BBC One, it's alright.
Well, I don't know, I've heard of money going sort of like missing from accounts and accounts not being balanced properly and things like that.
This we'll have to investigate. Investigate we did. A few days later, chance brought us nearer to our goal. 2 British Telecom engineers. Would they cooperate? Right, we're investigating a British Telecom phone card fraud. Could you tell us where the Telecom secret headquarters is?
You've got to be joking.
We certainly were not joking. But could the people of Worcester help us?
Up in the high street,
Yes.
either turn left or turn right.
If you go down by the City Walls Road, it's across there.
In
It's
that,
quite big.
in that direction?
Yeah, if you go carry on down there.
Sifting through the maze, the mass, the morass, and indeed molasses of misinformed misinformation given to us by people who, whilst posing as members of the public, had clearly been agents of the sinister BT Corporation, we found ourselves heading north by northwest down a badly lit street with no name. This was the moment of truth. Would all of our research be in vain, or would there be a light at the end of the tunnel? Yes. And so at last, here we are. 6 months of hard, solid investigative journalism ends here at the secret headquarters of the notorious British Telecom. Now, at last, we can find out the truth about these phone cards. Come with me and we'll see what answer we can get from the bosses of British Telecom. Well, good morning. We're from the BBC and we're investigating the phone card fraud. Are you aware of a massive nationwide fraud involving phone cards that do not in fact work?
I'm sorry, I'm not...
What have you to say? What
no publicity. Look, no pictures.
No, you must explain to the British public. We must know, I'm sorry. We must know.
No publicity. No publicity. Go away. No publicity whatsoever.
Once again, we see this notorious British Telecom refusing to give an answer to the British public who pay their phone bills on time. What kind of service is this? I ask you, this is Roger Cook for the BBC reporting. Further inquiries, alas, led nowhere. We tried BT Central Office, the Home Office, and of course the Citizens Advice Bureau, but there was no answer. So once again, I'm afraid to report that the Roger Cook investigation has led nowhere. And again, the losers are the British public, in this case being defrauded by the giant multinational company, British Telecom. Next week in Roger Cook Reporting, we investigate the scandal of the flies in the pizza at Evesham and ask the question, why does Neil Cooper always get charged a different price at breakfast?